Throughout his rewarding 4-decades-long career as a prominent business leader, the late Robert Saldich, who retired as Chief Executive Officer and President of Raychem Corporation and passed away in 2017, set himself apart with consistent integrity and humanity in his work. Growing up in New York, Mr. Saldich's leadership aspirations began at a young age. He looked up to his uncle, Philip Kazakov, a very successful businessman in the city, and became inspired to follow in his footsteps. He pursued his dream at Rice University in Houston, Texas, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering in 1956 and 1957, respectively. He was later recognized as a distinguished alumnus of his alma mater in 2006 for leadership in business and commitment to public service. After gaining administrative experience as a manufacturing manager at Procter & Gamble, Mr. Saldich enrolled at Harvard Business School and ultimately graduated as a Baker Scholar with a Master in Business Administration degree in 1961. Having made a strong impact as a student at Harvard, Mr. Saldich remained there as a research assistant for a year, during which time he worked closely with his greatest mentor and renowned professor, General George Doriot. Following that appointment, he became assistant to the president of Kaiser Aluminum and Chemical Corporation in Oakland, California from 1962 to 1964. In the midst of his budding career, he met and married his first wife, Anne Raleigh, in 1963, and their son Alan was born the following year. In 1964, he was hired as manager of finance and personnel at Raychem Corporation in Menlo Park. Over the course of the subsequent decades, he advanced through several leadership roles, including general manager, president of its Raynet Corporation subsidiary, and senior vice president of its energy division. He became chief executive officer and president of the company in 1990 and retired 5 years later. In that short but significant window of administration, he succeeded in raising the value of Raychem Corporation by 50% and was featured in Business People. In addition to his primary endeavors, Mr. Saldich served as chairman of the American Electronics Association, chairman of the Commonwealth Club of California, and was appointed to the visiting committee for the Harvard Business School, as well as the advisory boards of the California Polytechnic University and the University of Santa Clara Levy Business School. In these roles, which he considered career highlights, he was able to explore his passion for business education. He also worked for several years as part of the board of directors for the American Leadership Forum, a nonprofit organization geared towards strengthening diverse leaders for the common good of communities. Later in life, Mr. Saldich lent his expertise to numerous professional organizations, in which he naturally assumed leadership roles. He was an esteemed member of the Silicon Valley Center for Community and Justice, the State of the World Forum, National Conference of Christians and Jews, and the Commonwealth Club, among others. In retirement, he enjoyed sailing and skiing and spending time with his wife Virginia, to whom he was married since 1983, his 5 children and 12 grandchildren. Mr. Saldich wished to be remembered as someone who was caring, compassionate, and honorable in everything he did.